Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Howie?
Good, Ed.
Good. You have no idea who I am, do you?
Aren't you Ed the Sock?
Yes, but you spent so much time in the States. I wouldn't
No, I'm
figure.
from Toronto. I'm from Toronto.
I know, but do you know who I am?
Ed the Sock.
Yes.
Yes, you're a sock jock.
Okay, we'll go with that.
All right.
Howie, how are you?
I'm good. You don't have any arms, right?
No, you would no handshakes from me. There's no germ
Which
issues, no
perfect.
fist bumps.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. How, with no arms, are you able to put your sock on?
What do you mean put my sock on? How do you put your skin on? This is just who I am. It's my ethnicity. I'm not defined by it.
Oh, so you identify as a sock.
Well, what else would I identify as? A cat?
Oh.
So, Howie, you and I to set the
Sock.
what's happening there. So to set the table, Howie, you and I originated from the same hood or shtetl, so to speak, Willowdale.
Yes. Yes.
Both Willowdale. Even more coincidental, we both went to the same Hebrew school, Beth David.
Okay.
Yeah, did you go?
These aren't questions. These are statements, and they're true statements.
Well, are you gonna dissect everything I say as we go
No,
along?
no, I'm not. I'm just saying that it's unusual to spend a morning with a sock, kind of reminiscing about my past.
Listen, I'm trying to establish some kind of connection between
Did
us.
you ever have a? Why do you want connection? Did you lose? Oh, I would imagine as a
Oh no,
sock,
don't
had
go
a
there,
partner
Howie.
that you lost in the laundry.
Don't go there, Howie. All right. I haven't heard that one before.
Sorry,
So, okay. So, Howie, um,
sock.
speaking of Hebrew school, that is where I got honed my talent as a smartass. And speaking of talent, you host, you're on both America's Got Talent and Canada's Got Talent.
Right.
Again, it's a statement, not a question. Is that
No, but I
okay?
like it. I thought I was going to do an interview, and this is so much easier. I
It'll,
like that
I
it's
will
not. I
get to it.
love to just sit here
Wow,
and
you
reminisce
have no
with
patience
the.
whatsoever.
I have a lot of patience.
No,
I'm
so far you've
talking to a
demonstrated
sock.
no.
I have a ton of patience.
No, it hasn't
A lot of
shown.
people would not get on a Zoom with a sock.
No, it hasn't shown any patience. All right,
I
so
have patience.
now
Don't say I don't have patience.
now
I'm a very calm, patient person talking to a strange sock.
I'm not that strange. So
Yeah, you
here,
are.
let me phrase this as a question. Are you
Well, you know
aware?
what? Make a statement and go up with your voice at the end, and then it'll come off like a
Are
question.
you aware that you
Yes.
are one
Yes. That's
of? No. This isn't. I think, therefore, I am. Question. Are you
okay.
aware that you are in a small fraternity of people who hosted both a Canadian and American version of the same show? Alex Trebek, Jim Perry. Are you aware of that?
Well, when you mention it, it makes me aware. So the answer is yes.
Okay, I should have
aware
said,
of that.
were you aware? Okay, thank you for correcting me. Okay,
No, I'm aware now. I'm
all
like,
right,
okay.
all right. And
Do I
now,
have to phrase that answer in the form of a question?
well, you can if you want, but you're not going to win any cash prizes.
Okay. And I was on definition
You
with
were
Jim,
on definition.
with Jim Perry.
Remember the theme?
There we go. We're reminiscing again. Yes, I do.
Oh,
I was there. I
all right.
memorized.
Let's talk the present. Canada's Got Talent is shot in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, it seemed to me, if you want to pick from the greatest concentration of Canadian performing talent, you should shoot Canada's Got Talent in Los Angeles, because it seems that's where the greatest concentration of Canadian performers wind up.
Right. But we're trying to change that narrative.
Now,
We
you should.
want everyone to come to Niagara Falls. No, to just come to Canada.
Well, Niagara Falls, I mean, those wax museums, wow, they're stunning. You should maybe call the show Canada's Got Talent that don't have a U.S. work permit.
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there? You see what I did
see
there?
what you did there. That's amazing.
All right, no, it's not. Don't patronize me, Howie. Now, I've got a question for you about judging. Now, you as a performer know how hard it is to make inroads in show business and what a win on a show like that would mean to a contestant and what the impact a loss would have. How do you handle that pressure?
Kind of like I'm handling this interview. like a true professional who has an incredible amount of patience and empathy. And I believe that I'm there for them. It's a lot of pressure. I don't want to be negative. I want to be constructive. I'm trying to be constructive. I'm like the guy who's upset that there hasn't been a Canada's Got Talent till now. I'm the guy who was upset that I had to come down here to make a living. I wanted to stay in Canada and do what I do, and I couldn't make a living. But I think Canada's Got Talent is gonna change that, because you could be on Canada's Got Talent and be seen by the entire world. Think about this. Britain's Got Talent, one of the most viral pieces of entertainment that ever came out of our show was Susan Boyle from BGT. So hopefully one of the same kind of things will happen to somebody on Canada's Got Talent.
This would be a very nice thing to have happen.
Right.
Yes, you're very magnanimous. Now, your career has taken twists and turns, but
Right.
there seems to have been a trajectory. You're like,
Right.
I see you like Steve Martin in a way. You started out as a wild and crazy guy, and
Right.
you've matured into more mainstream roles, but you haven't had to disavow your previous work. Was this a planned strategy or just
I don't have
organic?
any planned strategy. This is like a little, I got on stage at Yuck Yucks as a dare, and wasn't chasing comedy. And then I became a comedian. And then I accidentally ended up on a drama like St. Elsewhere. Somebody heard my funny voice, and I ended up doing a Saturday morning cartoon. 40 years I've been trekking this path to finally hit the pinnacle of being on a Zoom back to my hometown with a sock. Who knew that it would lead to this?
I sense the sarcasm underneath there, and I appreciate
sarcasm.
it. No, none at all. None at all. All right. So now you mentioned you wanted to stay in Toronto, but of course, we don't have an infrastructure here for that kind of thing. Now, you've been in the States for decades. When you visit Toronto, like when you're coming to the Flato Theatre in Markham, does it still feel like coming home?
Yeah, because everybody that I'm related to and my wife is related to is there. So I come back and I hang with my fam. And yes, and especially coming to a place like Markham, that's like my old stomping ground. So yes, it feels like I'm coming home.
And you appreciate that these are questions?
Do I appreciate? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good.
And you know what? If I didn't appreciate it, the fact that you pointed it out is something that I appreciate.
All right, very good, because that was a question in and of itself.
Yeah. Now, can I tell you something? Would you ever come on Canada's Got Talent?
I'm well past that stage.
What I'm saying is the fact that you could be like a ventriloquist, because I'm talking to you. Yet
I'm not a ventriloquist.
Your lips aren't moving.
Yes, they are. Look. Do you see my lips, George Bush? Read my lips. Do you see my lips?
No.
I could be a guest judge, but I'm not coming on there like some poor putz and putting myself at the mercy of you guys.
This is leaning really heavy Jewy with the putz and the Hebrew school that we went to.
Oh, would you like me to circumcise the references?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
You're a nut, you suck.
Thank you. Now, there's many faces of Howie Mandel. Which Howie or Howies can people expect to see October 23rd at the Flato Theatre in Markham?
Which face?
Well, I mean, what will people possibly be? You know what I mean.
I know. I don't know.
What dimension of Howie Mandel? Is it Bobby's World? Is it Wayne Fisk? Is it the psychotic, the way you were billed in 1978? What are they going to see? And will they be surprised in any way?
Your homework. Nobody's going to be more surprised than me. I never know what's going to come out of me. That's stand-up comedy is my favorite, regardless of everything that you have mentioned. Stand-up comedy is my favorite thing to do. And that's where there are no rules, no plans, no marks to hit, no lines to recite. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Think of it like a giant party and I'm just the center of attention. So I'm looking forward to it. That's the thing I love doing best. That's where it's not recorded, so I could cross a line, maybe even get
tell that to Michael Richards. Now, question about your misophobia. You have been really brave about talking about your OCD. You did it before people were really willing to accept that. And I have a lot of respect for that. Well, why do so many people on TV seem to screw with you about your OCD? Like on AGT, colleagues, interviewees, they seem to screw with you as if it's amusing. I mean, it's fun to do to a supply teacher in middle school, but
I think because I joke about it, so other people joke about it, but I joke about it because that's how I'm able to cope, but it doesn't, listen, that's the world that I live in. I'm coping. I've hopefully by talking about it publicly, we're removing some stigma, but ultimately it's continuously a struggle that I deal with each and every moment of my life. And as I talk to you right now, I'm medicated and I talk to a therapist constantly, and I'll even bring this up to my therapist. I'm going to say that, I was earlier today, I was talking to a sock, and then the therapy is going to up my meds. The therapist is going to up my meds because
I'm glad to have made that lasting impact in your life. Now, people don't realize this, and we're getting to the end, so don't worry. You were
Can you say we're getting to the end? Is that your way of saying we're all going to die soon?
Howie, how long you been in show business? Getting to the end means the end of the interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the end of the world. We may be getting to that too, but I'm not talking about that. So people don't realize you were a pioneer in Canadian cinema, starring in the Canadian magnum opus Gas.
Well, you know what? You know what they don't know about Gas?
What?
You're making fun of it. The writer of Gas, this was the first script he ever sold, and his name is Dick Wolf. You know who Dick Wolf is?
Really? Dick Wolf, the Law and Order and the Chicago franchises? He wrote Gas?
Yes. And that's the first script he ever wrote.
Oh, so, good Lord.
On you.
Well, listen, I mean, hey, it was the titan of Canadian. It was only beaten in the Canadian industry by Porky's as far as success. You know that? But now, considering that was about the energy crisis back then, considering the cost of gas and affordability now, maybe it's time for a sequel to Gas.
A sequel?
Yes.
A sequel? How many L's are you putting on that?
What are you playing I don't know with my words?
Sequel, but I think it's I think that people should look through the internet, find the movie. It's certainly a classic. It's very underrated, and it was a telltale sign of the future. And I'm so proud to have been part of it. I played a character by the name of Matt Lloyd, and it's been years since I've promoted it. But really, if you get a chance, Gas.
Yeah, it was visionary in the way Blade Runner was visionary in predicting the future. You see? All right, Howie, first of all, I want to say, or last of all, the Amazing Live Sea Monkeys show, way ahead of its time.
Again, I've been aligned with so many classics that people don't even mention. And the fact that you've done this amount of research and you are just a veritable cornucopia of Howie trivia. It's amazing to talk to you.
This is how I show respect to my guests, Howie.
And I feel respected. And I feel, at first I was a little leery because the guy that set up this Zoom said, Howie, get on, the sock's there. And I didn't know that I was going to be talking to a sock. You were a bit of a surprise, but what a wonderful surprise you've turned out to be. And I still say, and can I ask another question?
Of course you can.
Why does a sock need a sweater?
Because it gets cold. It's Canada.
Oh, okay.
That's just that would seem very elementary to me. Howie, good luck in Markham.
Yeah. Are you going to be there?
Well, I'm actually doing the voiceover introduction.
Why do you have to do a voiceover? Why can't you just be there in person?
You put in a word. I don't know. This is what they told me. If you've got schlep, you put in the word, I'll be there.
Yeah, you just open the curtain, just a thing, and there you are.
Okay, let's talk afterwards.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much for taking the time. You are the first person I've spoken to that has both a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame and on the sad Canadian copy.
No, and you're missing out. And there's a stain on the sidewalk on Finch.
There's many stains on the sidewalk at Finch.
But mine. It's me. It's in honor of me.
I have to go and check that out.
Go check it out. It's right in between Avenue Road and Bathurst on the south side of the street. Never mind. Find it.
Wait a minute. Avenue Road and Finch don't connect.
No, it's on Finch between Avenue Road and Bathurst. Go get yourself a Waze.
Never mind. All right. Howie, thank you very much for spending time. You've been a gracious guest,
I know,
which is a giant lie, but I've enjoyed this engagement with you.
which is also a giant lie. Bye.
Bye.